So this is what I'm going to show you how to get today. I'm going to show you how to do a highly detailed enhancement method and technique for photos. They work best in black and white. They can be used in portraits. Now there's a lot of issues with the black and white Photoshop, but I'm going to show you how to overcome red or blue filters over the top. So it's just simply a black and white image with detail, crisp, not soft. So this is how you do it. Well, before I show you how you do it, this is what it looks like. This was the original image taken by a Nikon D5000 in Adelaide, South Australia. A couple of days ago I took this shot and thought, well, it looks like an okay photo, but it's just too soft. There's no detail in the wall that I wanted. There's no detail in the ground. It just wasn't the photo I was looking for. And so I've been messing around with this technique, and it works on almost anything that anything that in real life has a lot of detail but doesn't come up in your photo as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this. I'm going to reopen the original, and I'm going to run through it with you on how to do it. Don't mind the water feature. Currently in progress. Alright, so this is the image. This is the original image. Okay, so I've typed up the steps. Here are the steps, and these will be found in the description, but I guarantee watching the video and going through the description at the same time will definitely help. So I'll show you how this works. So this Photoshop layer you have here, which is currently called background, you're going to want to duplicate that, so make a copy. To do that, it's Control J. For a Mac, it's Command J. You're going to want to rename that. It's completely up to you whether you rename it or not. So you just double click to rename it. I'm just going to call it Details. It helps in the future when you do editing to name your layers, otherwise you will get confused. Especially beginning. To start doing it, it's worth getting into the habit. So I've written these down. Step 2 says invert the layer by pressing Control I. So for Mac it's Command I. So Control I, click on it. You want to actually make sure you're clicked on the layer. Always make sure you're on the layer, clicked on the layer you want to edit. Control I turns it to what would be called negative effect. It comes in cameras, well, with phones and stuff like that, but with Photoshop it makes a completely different, unique effect. Right, so now that you've done that, you're gonna want to change its blend mode to vivid light. So that's pretty simple, basic. Up the top where it says normal, just find vivid light. You should turn it grey. There you go. It's currently grey. Alright. Whoops. There we go. So your image should be grey. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some surface blur on the photo. So that's found in filter up the top, and then blur, and down the bottom surface blur. Right. Now these are the recommended values that I have worked out. but I mean, it's completely up to you. You can mess around with them, but for the sake of this tutorial and getting the effect that I want to get, I'm going to show you with these values, and these values are ones that will work to a reasonable point for almost anything. Almost. Emphasis almost. So if you have an image right now, just put these values in and see how it pans out. So give it a little bit of time. So while this is going, a little bit of an explanation on how this works is that there is going to be a layer behind it that overlaps over the top and basically just brings out the shadows behind the image. It doesn't exactly sharpen the image as such. It just brings out it darkens the areas that are dark in there that you can't see, because in negative it's obvious, it's an opposite of black and white. So it's the equivalent of doing a black and white photo over the top of a black and white photo, but merging the two together, but are completely opposite. It's difficult to explain, but you'll see it in a sec. Alright, here we go. This is what we've got so far. So you need to go to the blend mode again, but you need to merge the two layers. So you don't want to destroy the layer. You don't want to do this. That's a big no-no for this tutorial. So the hotkeys are here. Shift, Control, Alt, E. Now for a Mac, I don't know what that is. To be quite honest, you're going to have to play around with it. I don't know what it is for a Mac. So Shift, Control, Alt, E. Make sure you're clicked on the layer. It will make a copy of the grey layer. So right now you can delete your middle layer. Easy. Don't need it anymore. It's gone. It's done. Alright. And the last thing is just to set it to an overlay, which is pretty simple as well. So it's back up here where you found vivid light, and it's actually just a couple above it under overlay, and that's all you detail out. And I know you don't see much of a difference, but if I take this layer away, see, now it looks blurry, but believe it or not, that's actually what it looked like to start off with. Add that, it just looks different. It looks more detailed. It really just does pop it out a lot more. So what we're going to do now is to turn it black and white with no red or blue over the top of it, because that's the problem with Photoshop, is it has custom settings and it's based on the reds and the blues, and you have to get it right. But with the steps we've taken, the default and auto both adjust to a standard black and white photo. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go down here in this little circle, down here, right, and it says create new fill or adjustment layer. So you're going to want to click that, and then you're going to go black and white. Alright, you'll get all these pop up. So that's your reds, your yellows, your greens, and your cyans, and all that stuff. So you can play around with these, and as you can see, you know, whatever is majority, you take it down, it will go dark. So a lot of the photo is yellows, oranges, and reds. It's red based. So I'm going to put it back on the value it was, which was 40. And so this is what it looks like when you just open it. Set to default values, that's what it looks like. So if that's what you like, then you can keep it like that. But I would recommend clicking auto it just makes it a little bit darker, and it mixes well with the steps that we've taken previously. And that's just about it. That's how you get detailed black and white photo with Photoshop, with no fancy big over the top filter effects or any reds or blue filters over the top, and bring out the detail in walls and in the ground and stuff like that. You can always adjust the opacity of what you have. So you just click on your layer and go opacity and just adjust it. You can also mess around with the different things of this. So if you set this to an overlay, this is what it looks like. It looks really grungy. All different ones. Pin light, you've got some really weird ones. Multiply, just change the color, saturation. It's the same as a black and white photo, but it's a lot lighter. And even darken, it turns it to a greeny tinge. With the with this photo, with other photos, it could maybe a bit different, but I'd rather keep it on normal. So that's it for this tutorial on how to make a black and white detailed photo with this technique in Photoshop. A simple version of it, really simple, it works, not much different to the other one. If you want to make it more detailed, you do the same process just twice. Alright, so yeah.